only 6 losses. They're 22-6 against the East. They're 11-5 against the West. And against the West, they have really only truly played maybe one title contender in Houston. They played them twice and they've split. And the last time they played them, obviously, was this past Friday night in a frustrating loss. And if you consider the Lakers a title contender, they did beat the Lakers. But it's hard to know how they stack up against the West. They haven't played Oklahoma City. They'll play a depleted Denver team tonight. They haven't played San Antonio. They're 1-1 against Houston, which, I mean, maybe that's fine to be 1-1 against Houston. You can make an argument that it is fine. But it's really hard to know if they truly are NBA title contenders. And should this impact their trade strategy? And the reason I bring it up is because you sort of think of a team that is built.
Well, we got 97-1 ticket. I don't know their names. So basically, the Pistons are 11-5 versus the West. We don't know how they're going to do versus the West. My thing is this. You only got to play one team versus the West. You ain't got to play the Trail Blazers. You ain't got to play the Lakers. You ain't got to play the Clippers. You ain't got to play the Western Conference All-Stars. You got to play one team. And the way the NBA is going, you never know what team it is. It's parity. Now, one of the reasons the NBA got a lot of parity is because these guys can't stay healthy. Okay? So when you look out west, historically, how have the Pistons matched up with the Thunder? It's been even last year, they were really good competitive games. It was complaints about, Foul Merchant, SGA. I like SGA, got to get a pair of those Converses, right? They played them very closely, tightly last year. So it was competitive. When you go to Minnesota, I think last January, I think Cade and Anthony Edwards are going to go there. They dropped 50 apiece. When they played Denver pretty good too, from historically what I would remember. And guess what? They played them all in February or soon. They played Denver soon. They play, I think they played the Spurs and the Thunder back to back, I think in Detroit or something like that. But they played them back to back in February. It's close. I think they might play on the Monday and the Wednesday or Tuesday and the Thursday play them. They play the Knicks again. I know they out east. But hey, check out Detroit Pistons Talk playlist. Thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. See, my thing is this: 97-1 a ticket is just CBS need an overhaul. You know what I'm saying? I know I like the addition of Tony Romo. I'm one of them few people that like Romo. As a commentator, is because what I'm gonna say this about Romo, and I might do a short on my main channel. What's not to like about Tony Romo calling games? Don't you want to know what's about to happen before it happened? Don't you want to hear analytical breakdown? And let me get the TV program and some free game, right? It's a channel that's, giving you the right to turn off. I think NBC is giving you the right to turn off the commentary on the app. On the Peacock app, if my memory serves me correctly, you can turn off whoever calling the game. You ain't got to hear that shit. You can just listen to the game. They're coming out with that new feature. But let me say this. I think some of these channels need to, like ESPN do with Peyton and them, give us an alternative broadcast where we can listen, like real football fans. We can really listen to real breakdowns on curl flats or, post or mesh concepts or high-low concepts. I would love to rather hear that than, hear the old basic, jive and woo, woo, woo. Like, that's cool. I don't have an issue with Collinsworth. I don't have an issue with Tom Brady. I love Greg Olsen. I like Aqib Talib. He brought a hood factor to it. Like, each commentator gonna bring a different factor. I love Doris Burke. Obviously, Gregory Kelser, George Blaha. I love the Hornets broadcasting team down there. So, like I said, it's just an acquired I just think people like to complain about the commentators just to complain, but accept them for who they are. He sucks this guy too much, or he talks about, that's just them. It's just, that's just the way it is. But let me say something about CBS. I think Romo is the pure color of the pure color, or the pure like new school twist that CBS got. CBS just smell like Geritol. It smell like icy hot. and it smelled like old wrinkly ass men locker room at the fucking racket club, right? They need a whole jolt. And if you don't know, 97 won a ticket falls under the Viacom, aka CBS banner. Like Valenti is cool, you know. I know people don't like him, and you know, but he's the hip to the, you know, really the retirement home of 97 won a ticket. 97 won a ticket need more colorful, younger talent. You know what I'm saying? Could they use more of an urban twist up there? Yeah, but that's really not the point per se. They just need more of a youth rejuvenation. I think Valenti is fine, but everybody else, they just too fucking old to be up there. We don't care nothing about your baseball no more in this generation. You know what I'm saying? And when they talk about the Pistons, it's just like, I don't really want to talk about this. No, really, I would be talking about, Chris Illich about Scuba and not making enough move with the Tigers. If we really gonna talk, but then again, he got enough money to shut them up. And if they get out of line, you know, he'll put that belt today behind. So and you know, Stony and them motherfuckers, Chris Illich had them motherfuckers up coming up missing. So I don't really blame y'all. But I mean, y'all lived y'all life. I mean, what else y'all living for? To see the Lions win the Super Bowl? Him, my Jadakiss voice, but yeah, it's like, you know, at the end of they do versus the man. I ain't got to worry about but one team I play in the finals, and you don't know who that's gonna be because these guys are low management in playoff games. They constantly getting injured. But if we had to guess who's gonna be there in the end, you know, I would say it's probably gonna be between the Thunder and the Spurs, Minnesota, you know, in Denver. You know, that's what I would say is probably the fourth. But guess what? It can change. You know, we still got the trade deadline. It can change, but that's pretty much there. Historically, they played Denver well. Even when Andre Drummond, he used to dog out Nikola Jokic. The Spurs, I really don't know. They're a different team right now. Wemby should be on the Pistons, but I'm not going to cry about it. Minnesota, they play very, very well. I think, honestly, that's the best matchup. I think that's the best matchup for the NBA is Minnesota versus Detroit. From the standpoint of view for American basketball, really the torch is really between Anthony Edwards and Cade Cunningham. Those are the torch bearers for the NBA. Now, you got a lot of young talent coming in. That kid from BYU, Carlos Boozer's son, the brother Acuff from Cass Tech playing in Arkansas. And I would love to have Rashad Phillips on the show. So if y'all can send this to Rashad Phillips, I mean, I was a huge fan when he was at UAD. He used to go to all the games, right? Because he's a great evaluator, especially around, you know, draft time. But Detroit legend for sure. But yeah, I think those are really four teams. And like I said, it could change. You know, some can happen with Houston, some can happen with Phoenix, some the Clippers maybe. You know, they might turn it all the way around and then get injured. But really, you really need to be worried about, you know, what Toronto gonna do, what Cleveland gonna do. You worry about the people that's in your pit. There's one point that the Pistons, when they beat the Trailblazers in 1990, they hadn't won in Portland like in 20,000 seasons. But in the playoffs, it's different, though. So, you know, really, if you start really talking about the teams that they don't want to see in the playoffs, you don't want to see Denver and you don't want to see the Thunder, right? Why you don't want to see those two teams? Because they have championship lineage. They have current championship lineage. They've been there before. They know how to win. They have the experience. You get Minnesota in there. They ain't really been there. You get, Houston in there. You know, KD been there, but, you know, they don't get a true point guard. I don't think they're going to make it, but they ain't really been there. That'd be good for the NBA too. Rockets and Pistons, good rivalry right there. So that really, you know, you don't want to face the season guys, you know what I'm saying, I've been there, but, you know, but the thing about it, those two teams ain't won but one championship, you know what I'm saying? So trying to repeat for the Thunder and trying to get another one from Denver, yeah, but, you know, in my opinion, I just think, you know, it's overblown. They've been competitive with them, and guess what? Just fuck around and find out. Like, February is F and F for the Pistons. Fuck around and find out, because you're going to play the Thunder, you're going to play the Spurs, you're going to start playing some teams out west, and we'll see what happens. So thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the link tree. You can find me on X, Facebook, Kick, Instagram, Spotify, Anchor, Cash App, Venmo, PayPal. Appreciate the love and support. You got Detroit Pistons Talk playlist, more videos like this. Peace.